everybody, this is Marie Webster. I'm the digital learning and computer skills teacher at Hall Woodward Elementary School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This video is going to be a very basic introduction to PowerSchool Learning. It's really meant for our new staff here at Hall Woodward and in Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. But if you are a returning staff member and PowerSchool Learning is still tripping you up, I totally get it, and I hope this video can help you out as well. I often abbreviate PowerSchool Learning as PSL because that helps differentiate it from the PowerSchool site that we use for our grades and attendance. PowerSchool Learning was originally created by a company called Haiku Learning, and then it was purchased by Pearson and they renamed it. So when you are working with kids and parents talking about PowerSchool Learning, please call it PowerSchool Learning or PSL and not Haiku, because when they go to access it or to get help with PSL, trying to search for Haiku Learning is not going to bring them the best resources or links to even get to it. So most people who are returning folks will know that PowerSchool Learning was meant to be used for our teacher websites, and our instructional services departments use it to share resources. But PowerSchool Learning has so much more capabilities built into it than that. Actually, you could completely teach a class online in PowerSchool Learning. Since we at Hall Woodward teach elementary school, we don't have to worry about taking it quite that far. But we do want it to hold a lot more of what we do in our classroom than just our teacher website. To get started with that, though, you really have to understand how to get around in PowerSchool Learning, and hopefully the way that I'm going to approach it today will be a big help to you, because I really didn't get PowerSchool Learning until I started thinking of it as an online schoolhouse or a virtual school that you go and you visit a school and you get around in a school, and there are learning materials in a school. And so the way I think of it is PowerSchool Learning, it's got all that stuff. It's just on the internet. It's just online. All right, so just like when you go to any school, you're going to have to get through some security to get in, whether that's a key or a badge or whatever. For us, that is going to be this login page here. And what I'll be doing from here on out is switching between this Google Slides presentation and the live version of PowerSchool Learning. So to get to PowerSchool Learning, first you're going to head to the district website. You'll go to Staff and Student Links and you'll click on PowerSchool Learning. It's going to ask you to, and by the way, I have no idea why it always jumps to the bottom of the page. Anyway, it will ask you to sign in with your Google account. For teachers, you'll make sure that this domain up here is selected, and students will select the student domain. Parents, at some point you will get some information from your child's teacher about how to sign up for PowerSchool Learning, and then you'll be able to log in down here. So this part is for parents. This part is for teachers, so that's where I'm going to go. And click sign in with Google. Once I click sign in with Google, I get taken to this page, which looks very, very busy and confusing. So let's break that down just a little bit. I think of this page as our main office area of our online school. And just like when you come to the main office in a real school, there's going to be all kinds of things posted for you to get some information from. There might be a calendar somewhere. And within PowerSchool Learning, it's organized very similarly. So let's break it down a little bit. On this side of the screen is a part that I call the hallway. And that's the way I teach it to the kids too. I'll say, look at the hallway for your class, because this is pretty much like walking down the hallway and having your classrooms that you can choose to go into. So that's what that part is. In the middle is a calendar, and I'm going to switch back to the live version to show you a little bit more of the calendar features. The calendar will always show the month that you're in, and you can click on a date to show just or it will jump you down to that date and show you the things that are going on that date. The calendar collects all the events from all of your classes and puts them into an upcoming list. So I think the default is like the upcoming week or something like that. Something you'll notice about the calendar is it's color coded. So for instance, this purple 4G comes from the purple fourth grade technology class, and the green HJ is from the green Hall Woodward Jets class. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it puts all the stuff that's upcoming in one place. That's useful. This section over here will be your announcements, and again, it pulls from all the classes at once. You can see there's a couple from a class. It's my technology fifth grade class, so it's T5, and then that fourth grade class is over here as well. And teachers, you can post announcements. It's a great way to get field trip money turned in, remind people about picture day, sports practices. Now, the birthday thing, you need to talk to your principal about that, because everything that is in the main office will be visible to all parents who come and visit after they're joined up with their child's account. So you need to be careful about what you're posting, essentially. And if you're not sure, ask your tech facilitator, ask your principal, ask your mentor. Now, teachers, you will be responsible for enrolling your students and sending home a letter or otherwise contacting parents with a code to join each class. And I know that sounds really intimidating, but it'll actually go pretty quickly, because when you enroll your students, there's a way to connect it to your PowerSchool class roster, the one where your attendance is, and PSL lets you generate some automatic letters with the parent codes. So that will not take very long at all. All right, let's go visit a classroom. We are going to go visit the fourth grade technology class, and so clicking this link, you can think of it as basically opening the door of a classroom and walking in. So let's do that. All right, so this is my fourth grade technology virtual classroom, I guess you could call it. And just like whenever you go into a real classroom, hopefully you'll feel welcome and you'll get all the information you need to be able to work with the teacher. So let me just show you what mine looks like. Here I put what I hope is kind of an exciting picture of my computer lab and some kids working in it. I put a welcome message, I have my contact information, I have my schedule, I have my little lab calendar, I put my expectations, and I put a about me, so that when parents come to visit, they'll know, expectations, what my background is, and things like that. Teachers, this will not take very long to take care of either, because Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools digital teaching and learning coaches have made a template that all you have to do is copy and just change the information in. So for instance, these are called blocks. So there'll be a block where you can add a picture. Maybe you want to take a picture of your room at open house and put it in there. There'll be a block for your schedule. So if you have typed up your schedule to post in your classroom, you can just copy and paste it and put it in that block on your page here. Of course, you'll have your rules. You can post those. Maybe you'll have your welcome letter that you would have put out on your desk for open house for your parents. You can copy and paste that in here on your page. So I predict that by the time we get ready to set this up, you'll have already created a lot of things that will go on here, and you'll just be able to copy and paste them. Okay, so when you are looking at a class page, you'll have a part over here on the left with different topics, and I compare this part over here to like a bookshelf with binders and folders on it. So this is where my lessons are going to be. And actually the way I started out using it last year was kind of as if I had print resources, handouts and things like that, and I put them in a binder so that I could get to them quickly during my lessons. That's kind of how I structured this here. So when you're thinking about putting your materials online, you gotta kind of think, well, do I want to organize it by month or subject or Common Core objective? That'll be something you figure out as time goes by, but I do want to show you how this works, partially so you can get those ideas in your head, and also because our instructional resources pages are set up this way. Okay, so within the shelf area where my topics were, there are two different kinds of links here. The first one, my welcome page, doesn't have anything beside it on this side. It is just a single page. Here it is over here. But you will see some things on the shelf, some of the links have this little symbol next to them. And what that means is that it has subpages. And the way I think of that is this kind of link right here is a binder. I know there's going to be stuff inside this link whenever I click on it, and it happens to be called subpages. So yeah, let me go click on a link. Here is that text features binder here. And you can see I have a lot of subpages in this section right here. I'm going to click on this link that says text features specifically. And you can see it comes up to a page that says text features. And what I compare that to is that's like my binder cover. So I can put things on that main page, just like I can put things on a binder cover, but then my other content will be inside the binder. So each one of these here, subpages here, is a page all by itself. So this was my basic text features, I have an advanced text features page, and so on. And so when you're looking in the instructional resources pages, you can be like, okay, there's the main page for this section or binder. This is going to be a single page. Here's another page, here's another page, here's another page. So that's just one way to think about it. The main way I used this last year was just to collect all of my content, and actually I loved it because as I was going through preparing my lessons, and I was like, oh, I can put that video in, or I can use that poster, or here are some examples of projects. I just went on and added them to my pages, and then when I was ready to teach, I would just click the page and all my stuff was there. Like I wasn't trying to Google for it in the middle of the lesson. I wasn't trying to make sure it was in my bookmarks. I was like, cool, I click on one place and all my stuff is set up for me. And then actually by the end of the year, this was my 4th grade class. So what I would do is I would put all the stuff in, and I would show some examples of finished projects or finished parts of projects. Like let's say we were doing advanced text features on bullets and numbering. Then at the very beginning of class, we would talk about our objectives and some vocabulary. And essentially I would say, okay, here is what I need your work to look like by the end of class. And I would say go into PowerSchool Learning. Here's where you will find what you need. Go ahead and get busy and I will walk around and help you. And believe it or not, it worked out really well. Even all the way down to 3rd grade, I was doing this. So that really, all of that is the basics of PowerSchool Learning. I'm not going to talk in this video about how to do any content creations or anything like that. I just wanted to show you what was there and how to get around. Now, one more thing I need to show you is what happens if you get lost, because even if you don't, the kids will. So the way I teach it is if you were in a real school and you got lost, you would try and get yourself back to the main office. And to do that in PowerSchool Learning, I call this to click on the colorful letter P. So if you get lost and you're like, by this point I don't even know what class I'm in, I've gotten so deep into subpages, I'm just stuck. Click on the colorful letter P and you will get taken back to the main office, and then hopefully that'll set you back on the right track. Well, I hope this video did help you kind of get an overview of PowerSchool Learning, and hopefully it doesn't feel so intimidating now. We will be sitting down to have some work sessions on getting your classes created and making sure, or your welcome pages for your classes, I'm sorry, and making sure that you can get to the instructional resources classes. What you can do for now is just go ahead and prepare your materials. Take the pictures of your class on Classroom at Open House. Go ahead and type up your schedule. Go ahead and type up your welcome letter and anything like that. Don't worry about creating your binders of materials or anything like that. If you are not at Hall Woodward, but you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to help you out as best I can, and thank you for watching.